Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tombstone Tourist. This week, I'm back at the Woodlawn Memorial Gardens in Nashville, Tennessee. Last week, I was in the Garden of the Good Shepherd, and this week, I moved all the way across the cemetery to the Garden of Everlasting Life. Here in this section, we're going to be visiting the final resting place of Grand Ole Opry stars Wilma Lee and Stoney Cooper, and the thin man from West Plains, Missouri, Porter Wagoner. Wilma Lee was born Wilma Lee Leary in Valley Head, West Virginia on February 7, 1921. Her mother was a school teacher and her father worked in the coal mines. When Wilma Lee was about 5 years old, she joined her mother, who played the pump organ, and her brother and sister, and began performing in local churches as the Leary family. In 1938, the Leary family was selected to represent the state of West Virginia at the National Folk Festival in Washington, D.C. Accompanying the family at the time was a fiddle player named Dale Cooper. Dale Troy Cooper was born in Herman, West Virginia on October 16, 1918. His family was among the first settlers of Pendleton and Randolph counties in West Virginia, and those early roots influenced Dale's love for music. It was while he was still in high school that Dale joined the Leary family, where he met Wilma Lee Leary. Wilma Lee and Dale, who was now known as Stoney, began courting, and in 1939 they were married. In 1942, the couple welcomed their only child, who they named Carol Lee. A short time later, Wilma Lee and Stoney formed their own group and began performing as Wilma Lee and Stoney Cooper and the Clinch Mountain Clan. They performed throughout West Virginia, and in 1947, they became regular cast members on the WWVA Jamboree in Wheeling, West Virginia. They remained a regular act on the Wheeling Jamboree until 1957, when they left to join the Grand Ole Opry. After joining the Opry, Wilma Lee and Stoney enjoyed their biggest success, recording 7 hits that appeared in the Billboard charts, including 4 that reached the top 10, including Big Midnight Special and There's a Big Wheel. Throughout their career, Wilma Lee and Stoney remained true to their gospel roots, recording popular gospel songs like The Tramp on the Street and Walking My Lord Up Calvary's Hill. For more than 20 years, Wilma Lee, Stoney Cooper, and the Clinch Mountain Clan were regular members of the Grand Ole Opry. Then, beginning in 1973, Stoney suffered a series of heart attacks and spent long periods of time in the hospital and recovering. As his health would permit, Stoney would continue to join Wilma Lee on the Opry. However, on February 4, 1977, Stoney would suffer another heart attack. This would keep him in the hospital and away from the Opry. Stoney Cooper passed away at the age of 58 on March 22nd, 1977. Following Stoney's death, Wilma Lee returned to Opry, where she remained an Opry regular until 2001, when she suffered a stroke that would all but end her performing career. However, Wilma Lee defied the odds and made one final appearance, when she joined the Opry cast on September 28, 2010 for a group song to celebrate the grand reopening of the Ryman Auditorium. A year later, on September 13, 2011, Wilma Lee Cooper passed away at her home in Sweetwater, Tennessee. She was 90 years old. On a side note, Wilma Lee and Stoney's daughter, Carol Lee, began appearing occasionally on the Opry with her parents in 1956. Then, in 1972, Carol Lee would form a group known as the Carol Lee Singers, who would perform the backup vocals for the Opry cast for the next 40 years. In March 2012, Carol Lee announced her retirement from the Opry, made her final performance on March 24, 2012. As of this video, Carol Lee Cooper is 81 years old and still lives in Nashville. Just a short walk from the graves of Wilma Lee and Stoney Cooper, we find the final resting place of the thin man from West Plains, Missouri, Grand Ole Opry star and a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Porter Wagoner. Porter was born in West Plains on August 12, 1927. While growing up, Porter worked cutting meat in a local butcher shop. While working in the butcher shop, he formed a band he called the Blue Ridge Boys. The group would begin performing on local radio stations KWPM, and several of the radio shows originated from the butcher shop. In 1951, Porter moved to radio station KWTO in Springfield, Missouri, which eventually led him to signing his first recording contract with RCA Victor. Then in 1955, Porter joined the cast of the Ozark Jubilee. He soon became one of the Jubilee's most popular acts. 2 years later, Porter would move to Nashville and eventually joined the cast of the Grand Ole Opry. In 1960, Porter began producing the Porter Wagoner TV show with his band he called the Wagon Masters. The 30-minute syndicated TV show proved to be very popular, appearing in more than 100 markets and averaging more than 3 million viewers. It was on the Porter Wagoner Show that a young star named Dolly Parton would be introduced to the nation. Dolly would appear regularly on the show from 1967 until 1974. The show also included comic routines by fellow West Plains native Speck Rhodes. Speck died in 2000 and is buried in Nashville's Spring Hill Cemetery. I visited his grave in an earlier video, and we'll put a link to that in the description below. The Porter Wagoner Show consisted of 686 30-minute episodes, airing from 1960 until 1981. And many of the shows can still be seen today on RFD TV. In the mid-1980s, Porter disbanded the Wagon Masters and formed an all-girl band that he called The Right Combination, which was named after one of his popular songs that he did with Dolly Parton. Then, in the 1990s, Porter joined the Nashville network as host of the show they called Backstage at the Opry. It has been well documented that when Dolly left the Porter Wagoner Show in 1974, the departure was difficult for both. I'm not going to go into that here, but eventually the two did reconcile, and in 2002, it was Dolly Parton who inducted Porter Wagoner into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Porter was one of the most popular stars not only on the Grand Ole Opry, but in country music. In a career that spanned more than 50 years, he charted a total of 81 singles, including #1 hits Satisfied Mind, Misery Loves Company, and Please Don't Stop Loving Me. Porter had several other hits that did not reach #1, songs like The Green Green Grass of Home, Skid Row Joe, The Carroll County Accident, and The Right Combination, all of which found their way into the top 10. On October 12, 2007, Porter appeared on the Grand Ole Opry to celebrate not only his 80th birthday, but his 50 years as a member of the Grand Ole Opry. A little over 2 months later, on October 28, 2007, the Ole Wagon Master passed away from the complications of lung cancer, with his family and Dolly Parton at his side. Porter Wagoner was 80 years old. Well, this is where I'm going to end this video. If you remember Wilma Lee and Stoney Cooper, or have a special memory of Porter Wagoner, or any of the people that we visit in these videos, I hope you'll share your memories in the comments. And if you enjoy these videos, I hope, if you haven't already, that you will consider ringing that bell and subscribing. And if you're so inclined, A thumbs up is always appreciated. Now until next week, just remember, life is a wonderful journey. Be sure to take time and enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everybody.